So this story is gonna be what if Asta was the son of Meliodas and Elizabeth, part one. So just like in canon, Asta and Yuno are found together by the priest, but Asta was not brought to the church by the stranger that brought him there before. He was brought by a stranger, but it wasn't the same person. But uh, the man that was carrying taking him to the church, starts to hear crying, and he looks over and sees that it's not Yuno. Is fast asleep. So he searches and finds a baby in a crib, like a little baby carrier, and in which he noticed that Asta is all alone. There's no one there, and the man picks up Asta, and he puts him and he takes him on a journey with him to go to the church and with him and when they reach the church and he put both Asta and down on the step, and he leaves, and still gets the pendant, but this time Asta actually had something left for him as well. It was a necklace, and what was hanging from it was the jewel from Elizabeth's earring. The one from the she got from royalty. That shows that she royalty. Yeah. So the priest comes outside and he sees the two. He picks them up, and the priest takes them inside. And he looks at the two boys and sees that both their names are Asta and Now Asta is a little different in this one. So the priest looks and see that he is calm, and he also noticed that about Yuno as well. So he keeps the boys and raises them as his own. As Asta and grow up, they get along very well. And as they were growing up, the priest began to notice how skilled both Asta and are. Asta is abnormally strong for his age and is very good with magic, and was also talented with magic. They both would work hard to help out on the church in the fields. Asta and are now 5 years old, and the priest decided to send them to retrieve something on the other side of in another village. And the encounter with the drunk man goes very differently. So the drunk man tries to steal Yuno's necklace. Does his best, but the man begins to beat and stump on And Asta sees that this is about to he's just about to strike and a gust of rage let loose inside of Asta, and he zips right in front of the man, catching his fist and saying, "You disgust me." Beating it, beating a kid, and trying to rob him. People like you should not exist in this world. You shall all be erased. The man then says, "How dare you talk to a grown-up like this?" with fear in his voice. Then Asta looks up at him with nothing but darkness in his eyes, and a swirly crescent mark on the left side of his forehead. And as he looks at the man, he squeezes tight and breaks his hand. The man falls on his back. Screaming in pain, and gets up and running and screaming that kid is a monster. Being scared, he calls Asta's name with fear in his voice. "Are you hurt, Asta?" Asta then turns around with a smile on his face and tells that he is fine, and we should be worrying about your injuries. Asta picks up and heads back to the church. Starts to get healed by Sister Lily, and Asta does not have a thing for Sister Lily in this one, so yeah. Oh, and still does get that personality that he got from the original one, so I'm just gonna give him that little cool, nonchalant type vibe. So I also forgot to mention that Asta is a bit smarter. Not bad, just right. Asta starts to think about that power that he had unleashed a while ago. Asta goes to his usual spot, the demon skeleton. So Asta is in there, still trying to figure out what that power was. He began to realize that the power activated when Yuno was getting beaten by that man. He closes his eyes and imagined that anger that he felt when that happened, but controlled, tamed, and a huge gust of magical power began to let loose into the sky. Asta now has eyes filled with darkness and a black spiral tattoo mark on the left side of his forehead. Asta reaches his arm out and sees darkness come out of them and says, "Cool." So now time skip 10 years later. Yuno and Asta are now 15 years old. Yuno still the way he does, still the way he acts, still acts the way he does in canon. Sorry, I'm stuttering so much. Asta uh, occasionally gets this to keep cheerful. He gets to keep his cheerful and calm self, and Yuno respects Asta a lot more than in canon. And I'm not, and I'm also going to give Asta a little bit of his dad, Meliodas, some of his perviness. Also, Asta has a perfect mastery over his darkness. He's able to create, he be able to create uh, objects and stuff from his hand and everything. He's also able to make weapons, put his limbs back together. He also having a soul like Meliodas, but it's not compared to the power of Meliodas. Oh, so let's just say it's right around, how can I say, just around 50, a magic level power of 50,000. Okay, and you may be wondering if I'm going to make him have angel power too. Of course, I'm going to make him have angel power, not just one side. Okay, so we're just now there. We just getting, we're not there yet. We're on our way there now. So yeah, today is the day that they both get their grimoires. So everyone is in the building, and then everyone starts to get their grimoires. Oh, and in this, it's a lot stronger than in canon. And because of he has Asta, who is way more stronger than him, physically and magically. So he has time. He doesn't just lay back and allow his power to work up and train a little bit. He trains nonstop. And Asta still does his training, physical training in the cave. So yeah, so let's get back to it. Then two bright lights start to come down to no, I'm sorry, three bright lights start to come down to Asta and Yuno. Yuno gets his four leaf. It's just a little bit more green, and when he grabbed the book. A big, immense power magic power starts to come off of Now it's Asta's turn. His is a four leaf, but it's not just one. He sees two four leaves goes straight to Asta, and then they start to merge. They start to merge, forming like a yin and yang. And as they forming, they end up one side. The front cover is black, and the four leaf clover is white. The back side is white, and the four leaf clover is black. And the four leaf clover, and when he touches, and when he just white and the black swirling a little bit on it as well. Asta grabs the book, and two wings made out of darkness and two wings made out of feathers, white feathers, and his pupils are like the goddess race. I don't know how you explain those, but it's like the goddess race. And on the outside of its outside of it is black. On the other side is black. His other eye is black. He began to start giving an enormous amount of magic power that feels warm but also cold. And that power that he's giving off is way stronger that than what Yuno was giving off. Now because everyone is shocked and amazed amazement and anger because they're thinking in their head, thinking to themselves, how in the hell did two lowly commoners get four-leaf grimoires? And how are they this powerful? Both Yuno and Asta fist bumped each other while smiling, and they winked and they walked out. Now, because of all that power, all that power they gave off, the two nobles and the chain mage actually stays away from them. Stays away from them too. Oh, and Asta is out of his demon god form. Demon god form. Just call it that for now. His wings are gone and his eyes are back to normal. Asta is still the same height. A couple of days ago, a couple days go past, and Asta now has a full powered assault mode. So if I would say a full powered assault mode to him, that'd be a power level, I guess, around 114,000. So right around Escanor's the one. I know I'm making him very OP. Right? Yes, I have to make him OP. His parents is he now knows that he can also heal people and without and he can also heal people without using his grimoire, and like he just got a new magical ability which is from his goddess part. He just awakened that, and he can also access his demon god form and fly around, and he can now damage people with light particles. Now and Asta are so now and Asta are now heading to the capital of the Clover Kingdom. They arrive there and they are admiring the capital together, and Asta sees the castle of the Wizard King, and he tells that will be mine. That will be mine one day, and I might let you stay there. And says the same thing. The same thing. They get in line to register for the exams. Once they get to the man, he sees Yuno's four-leaf and says, "So you're from Hajj, huh? You're a lucky one." Then Asta walks forward, and the man is stunned to see a four-leaf clover grimoire, but from Hajj as well, Hajj village. Everyone in the back noticed this, and is saying, "Now, did how did these commoners get four-leaf grimoires from a backwater village?" The two get into the Coliseum, and they see these bird-like things, and they ask, "What are they?" And someone else asks another guy, "What are these birds?" Someone tells him that they are anti-birds. The more that come to you, the more it shows how weak you are. And then the guy realized that none of the birds, not one single bird, is near Asta. Everyone else start to take notice of this, and everyone is like, they must be very strong then. Asta starts to look around and he bumps into Yami. And Yami looks at Asta, says, "Do you want to die, kid?" Asta ends up saying something stupid, and even though he's smart, he's still a kid, a teenager. And Yami grabs Asta by the head and lift him up. Then Asta grabs Yami's hand, squeeze very hard. Yami notices that this is hurting. This is hurting bad. So he drops Asta. Then the guy so yeah, the the friendly real guy, he comes over and tells Yami, "Come on, man, you shouldn't be messing with the examinees." And then Asta then everything happens the same leading up to the test. Oh, and Seke is not going to try and mess with Asta back. Not going to mess with Asta. To the story. Back to the story. So the broom test still passes the broom test, obviously, and is actually just looking. Asta is looking at the broom, just looking at it. The captain start to think, can he not use a broom? Then Asta throws the broom aside. Asta sprout angel wings and began to fly higher than everyone. And the captain say, "How can this boy fly without using a broom?" Next was the creation. Test. Asta mixed his darkness with his light and created a giant dragon. The captains are all amazed, so all the other tests go very well for Asta. Now it's time for the 1v1 battle, and Asta goes up first. A royal actually challenged Asta this time, and everyone sees this. This royal is about to fight this commoner. They step up on the plate, and says, the royal says, no, I'm sorry. The royal has armor creation magic. That's what I'm saying. That's what kind of magic he has. He covers himself in a golden like armor and sword. Then the royal says, scared now? This is the power of us royals. Then Asta's whole body covers in darkness. Asta is now in his assault mode. The royal began to get scared and back away from him, feeling the fear in his heart. Then Asta let out a huge wave of magical power. Then Asta zooms for the royal, and he ends up right in front of him and punches him in the gut, shattering his armor and dropping him to the floor. And he tells him that I don't care. I do not care that he is a royal. You're not going to stand in my way of becoming the Wizard King. Asta powers down and is declared the winner. He walks back into the crowd with a smile. Wade gives a high five. Gives a high five to Asta. Yuno's fight goes pretty much the same. The same person challenging. And with that out of the way, this time, Yuno actually, like his match went a lot more easier than it actually did in canon. So now they are calling up people to join to see who joins the squad. And Underhands rage for Yuno, like in canon, only except the royals and nobles, and now everyone's surprised to see now that they only thought that royals and nobles could get into these houses, but now commoners. Picks the golden dawn. Asta is called up next. All the captains raise their hands. Then Fogolian stands up and asks Asta, "What is your magic power?" Asta says, "I don't really know the name for it, so I really just call it divine magic." Fogolian then says, "What is your intentions? What do you want to be when you get older? What do you want to do once you get into the Magic Knights?" "I want to become the Wizard King and protect everyone." Fogolian still keeps his hand up. He sits back down and keeps his hand up. And then the Silver Equals captain, he says, he stands up and says, do you really think that you will become the Wizard King? For that to happen, you have to prove that you're stronger than all Magic Knight captains. Is that what you're trying to say? Then Asta says, "I don't really care about what you think, but yes, I do believe that I'm going to become the Wizard King, and no one's going to stop me." Then Asta says, "I choose the Black Bulls." All the people are shocked to hear this. Then Asta says, "I choose the Black Bulls because they are the lowest squad, and I will join them to make them the best squad ever and earn my way to become the Wizard King." Yami laughs and says, "Hey kid, I like you. Welcome to the Black Bulls." They get to the base. Magna and Luck are fighting because Luck ate Magna's food. Asta bursts through the door yelling, "Hi, nice to meet you. I am the newest member of the Black Bulls." One of Magna's fireballs go for Asta's head, and Asta catches the fireball with his bare hands. Yami then yells, "Stop breaking everything," and punches a big hole where the door used to be. They stop and they all start rushing over to Yami with excitement. Then Asta gets Magnus' attention to say, while giving him the fireball, I think this is yours. And Magnus says, how did you get this? And Asta says, well, I caught it. Then Magnus tells him, with um with your hand, with a dumb look on his face. You caught it. Then he smiles in excitement, and he says, "Do you want to be a member of the Black Bulls?" Asta says, "Yeah." Then get ready to be. Then get ready to do your baptism. Then Asta says, "Bring it on." So I'm gonna stop it right here. I hope that you like this. I know I stuttered a lot, like messed up a lot during this video, but I'm so sorry. But if you made it to the end, thank you. Thank you so much for watching, and make sure you like, comment on what you want me to, like, who do you want me to mix around, like, who you want me to ship them with, and should I, give, a lot more bigger power boost than what he has right now, because I'm saying he is strong already, but should I give him an even bigger power boost, you know? And just make sure you subscribe to my channel if you're new, and like the video. All right, see ya. Lord Kage out.